One thing that I don't think our channel has shown much or gotten across much is that a large portion of these trips are driving. And however, a video of us driving all day I don't think would be terribly interesting, but today there were a few interesting moments. Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us again today. Before we get started with today's episode, I want to say hello to one of our biggest fans that I left out in the last video, and I apologize. Hello to August out in New Orleans and August's family. We really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for coming along on the ride. We had no sooner left the Rio Grande Gorge Bridge when we came across Earthship Biotexture. What it is a place where all of the homes are built out of recycled materials. They're situated in ways that take advantage of natural opportunities. So some are built partially underground. They pay attention to how they orient the homes to the sun to take best advantage of being efficient homes. They are fairly strange looking homes. You can actually rent a place to stay. Not all of the homes rent, but some of them do, and it looked like they range from about $200 to $300 a night. Could be an interesting experience.
They use like things they get from nature and like trash, and they put it into buildings, and they use solar, and they,
what was it called?
Earthship Biotexture. Cody Lundin from that show Survival.
Yeah.
Dual Survival. Yeah.
Now, I almost couldn't believe what I was looking at when we passed this home. I'll let the video kind of speak for itself, and then I'll chime in a second. Working our way over towards Farmington, New Mexico, and we came across a house that had, wish we'd have caught a picture of it, but they had a body, like a dummy, hanging from their ranch sign, like you see all these ranch signs at the entry to a driveway. And next to the dummy was hanging from a noose, and next to it was a sign that said, "We do it the old way." So, hope we don't break down around here. After I saw this place, I got online, did a little searching, and apparently there is some folklore behind something called the hanging tree in New Mexico. And I guess the thought of old style pioneer justice is still sort of perpetuated by some of the locals in this area. It was quite spooky to drive past this. So it's the first time that we've had this trailer up over 10,000 feet, and we're on and off again with sleet and hail, so that's a lot of fun. Hopefully I see blue skies ahead. Hopefully that's over, particularly because we're about to do our downhill from 10,000 feet. Oh wow. And I'd rather do downhill on dry pavement. It is 44 degrees up here. So we went from 2 weeks ago in Big Bend at 110, and now we're at 44. What's the difference there, boys?
A lot.
65 degree difference.
Wow. That went down a lot.
All right, as you come around the corner here, there's a patch of snow. That's our first snow of the trip.
Well, that's been this close. We've seen snow before, but not this close on this trip.
I know I've said this in several other videos, but we always prefer to have our lunch in a natural setting compared to stopping at restaurants. Not that restaurants were even going to be an option in this area, but we enjoy just stopping the trailer in a pretty quiet place, and having lunch. And so today, that's what we did. we talking about, guys?
Stuff.
Hello, YouTube. These are my preteens here. We stopped here at an overlook with picnic tables, which must be at the peak of the pass, and we have a beautiful view. My goodness. Not sure if we came from that direction or if we're headed in that direction. You can see the hail we just came from is behind me. And it is cool up here. We hit, I think, 43 degrees at one point when it was raining. And of course right now, probably, I don't know, 55. The truck here has been our trusty steed, doing a real good job. Very pleased. The weight distribution hitch, which you remember from an earlier episode, was falling out. Well, I've tied on some safety ties, and we ordered the new hitch. It's we're probably 2 days away from getting it. It was delivered to a friend that lives in Montrose, and we'll be visiting with them shortly. So anyway, fortunate that the hitch is doing its job and hasn't caused any more trouble. I'm doing video. You want to do a
Hi
picture?
guys.
Hey.
Selfie.
Look at Moms. We all know that every time we pass an expensive joint to eat, everybody suddenly gets cranky and hungry.
I like to go out to eat once in a while.
Yeah, well, what do we have? Chaquitos or whatever, those frozen little Mexican things. We have those in the camper. We're gonna pan fry them and have lunch up here at the overlook. So we weren't quite sure of our route here. We were trying to go from the Enchanted Circle area in Rio Grande Gorge up northwestern towards Pagosa Springs in Colorado. We weren't sure if the one we chose was a wise option because we knew that we were starting to really head into the mountain. So when we came across this little campground and hotel, we went ahead and stopped, and like any wise man would do, I asked directions. Now, we weren't quite sure what we were getting into heading towards Pagosa Springs. There's a neat little river cutting through town with several hot springs along the river, and at first glance it appears to be a public space, but that's not the case. Well, I guess maybe it is a public space. It's probably owned by the city, but there are fees for it. So there were no places in Pagosa Springs that we were aware of that you could actually go to the springs without dropping a mint. And for a family of 4, I can't remember the exact numbers, but we weren't going to pay that to sit in hot water. Good morning, it's a new day and we're here in Pagosa Springs. Stopped at one, well, we used the All Stays app, and then we stopped at one campground, and you know, the rates were about $60 or so. That's a little high when you're used to free, or certainly the New Mexico parks, which were wonderful at $14. Anyway, we came to the west side of Pagosa Springs and found Happy Camper, which was $30. However, you can see right behind me, we're along a highway. So I guess well, you know, almost every place in Pagosa though is along the highway. We are going to, a day early, get to Silverton and I slept okay. Cindy and the boys said the road was a problem for them, but I slept fine. As we go into Durango, we are going to stop at the Walmart and restock. We're looking at about 6 days of boondocking here, which is a new adventure for us. But I looked up on the Allstays app, Middle Creek Dispersed Camping, which is just a few miles out of Silverton. And using satellite imagery and whatnot, I could pretty well determine it looks like an incredible spot. My goodness. So, was it worth $30 to not be on this road? Maybe so. Found some campgrounds in Silverton that have a fee to dump, use their dump station and get water. One of them was $12 for a dump and water. So I think at some point, like maybe 3 days, 4 days in, we will have Cindy and the boys sit on our site. I'll drive the few miles into Silverton and, oh look, our pods. They'll sit on the site, I'll drive into Silverton, get the water and dump the tanks. This is what this campground looks like. So, not all that exciting, but anyway. That's our site. That's our campground, and here's our site. We're gonna have breakfast. We're gonna head in, do our shopping at Walmart, and then move on to Silverton. We are really excited to bring you these next several episodes. We are headed into the San Juan Mountains of southwestern Colorado, which has become one of our favorite places. And I have been editing up a storm because I'm just anxious to show you guys what a great time we had in the San Juan Mountains. So thank you for joining us. Please hit the like button. It helps us out quite a bit in YouTube promoting our videos. And we'll see you next time.